station, the only local radio station. That's right, only locally owned and operated radio station in all of Tallahassee. We appreciate you supporting Warchant.com and Warchant TV on the YouTube. Thanks for being in the chat as well. How goes it? Everybody good? I hope so. Florida State in full pads today. We start finding out what's what. As I like to say, today begins the getting. They get on with the getting. And, man, that makes my heart beat anxiously. Got a taste last night, Hall of Fame game. It's kind of, it's something. It's people in pads and uniforms you recognize hitting one another. And it's a reminder that football is that close. That close. Bringing it back home, I like that already. Talk about this more later in the show, but you are getting little nuggets. That's what happens when practice begins. That's what happens when they start hitting. That's what happens when players begin to talk to you after practice, or at least, address the media after practice. You begin to get real items of substance. Not earth-shattering all the time, but just things that, okay, good. They're out there. That player's ready to go. Sawchuk is excited to be in pads, ready to run the football. Let's get a good look at Gavin Sawchuk. Probably going to be, I would think, a starter for you in this first game against Alabama. Seems to me. Certainly a guy to keep an eye on. If you must know, 3 weeks, guys, 21 days, 23 hours. But I'll just concentrate on the 21 days until the start of college football. That's right. So when we come back on the air, we're in the teens. Then it might as well just be football season. Whole bunch of preseason games to boot. You won't have to survive by, solely looking at baseball games to bet or whatever it is that you do to get through these times. You'll be able to get actual information. Unfortunately, right about now, it's stuff that's, you get worried about. It's injuries, it's guys missing time, it's that kind of stuff. Not for Florida State, but for your NFL teams that are in camp now playing with, preseason games and the like. For example, Baker Mayfield's going to miss a couple days with a contusion on the hand. No big deal. We'll see. But
all right. Yeah.
Don't worry about it as much.
He'd play through that if he needed to.
But you did have an injury, Quinnen Williams, out 2 weeks. Strained calf. Calves are problems. If I'm a Jets fan, not happy with that news. But this is that time of year. This is what it is. You just hold your breath for all your teams. And maybe you get organized with your fantasy football. Maybe you get organized. Yeah. This is what happens when we're not organized. Douse. Yeah. Poor Lawrence Dawsey. No matter what was happening in practice, if things went south, Douse. That day we were out there to hear him say, this is what happens when we're not organized, was one of my favorite moments. Like he was waiting. He wanted a receiver. He needed a new receiver. What? This is what happens when we're not organized. Doss.
Yeah, it was 2011 or 2012 in the old IM fields because they were leveling the practice area.
That is right.
How when times change, some things still stay the same. I was over there for interviews last night, and all of the parking has been completely wiped out by where the practice fields were. I didn't drive that far for the luncheon, but I did last night just to see. That building is massive. That's way larger than I thought, the football-only facility.
It's a beautiful looking
facility.
Yeah, no, when it's done, when it's finally done.
It's wider from the perspective of coming around the corner than you'd think. Like the renderings, I thought the larger side was going to be what runs along the practice fields. Everybody has seen the photos and the renderings of this. But if you were walking around Doak on your way to Dick Howser Stadium, that thing is just right there with the glass for the entrance. It is stunning, actually, to take a look at.
Oh, I'm pumped. I mean, I've been, we joke about it and whether it'll be done on time and all that other stuff. But yeah, no, it's not going to be done on time. But I do get excited to see what the final product holds. And we remember when they broke ground. We remember when we were up at Hauser, standing up there at the third floor or whatever, if you will, and kind of overlooking everything. And for a while, they just had that trench dug out by the side fence where they were going to do all the plumbing.
It's still a mess. Yeah, right. Yeah, that was a
like
big
forever,
to-do.
for like a year.
Yeah, it was like all about the water.
Oh, there's a big pipe. Hey, now.
What are we in the Vikings locker room circa 2015?
No, it's funny. Like that giant, you're just kind of like, what's going on here?
One of the greatest moments
Yeah.
in NFL television history is a Vikings postgame speech by whoever it was, probably Brad Childress. And whoever was doing the editing and whoever was doing the directing, they didn't see something they should have seen to prevent it from making air.
Yes.
But make air it did.
So back to pads, full pads, getting it on. Let's go. I am excited. I can't wait. You know, again, we're not able to see it, so you do have to wait till after practice to glean anything. And I thought yesterday, being able to hear that all 5 of the projected starting offensive linemen were a full go was real positive news. I know there's certain position groups, certain players that we have no reason to think they won't be ready to go, but I don't like to count my chickens. You know, I want to make sure that it's all there. And some of those guys that didn't play in the spring, I was waiting to hear some good news about, and so far, so good. I'll tell you what really has me encouraged. Now, the first thing would be that offensive line being intact and ready to go. But man, maybe Mike is accurate when he tells us that he thinks that Jenkins is going to be ready to go. Like relatively soon. He's out there.
Yeah, I don't know that one. I mean, we know from being in practice on the old policy that a lot of guys will walk out there. A lot of guys will walk out there even in maybe the right amount of padding and the right amount of gear. And then, you know, they just kind of kill time for a couple hours and go, oh,
yeah, but man. I really think, no, honestly, I don't think that that you would have him out there if he wasn't going to be a go to like week 6. You know what I mean? Like, so when he got hurt in the offseason, right towards the end of spring, I guess he was working out on his own.
It might have been just before spring.
Or just before spring. Yeah, before spring. That's right. He got hurt, and that word out of that situation wasn't a good one. I mean, it was unsettling. There was real concern that, damn, man, the transfer from Tennessee, who looked like a guy that was going to have to be a dude for you.
Who was heavily invested in.
You know, when we look along that defensive line, you don't have too many 270-pound plus dudes that you're excited, you know, and he was going to be a guy because the people we talked to told you, yeah, he's got real upside. Like, that's a guy that was a good get for Florida State. They
felt like it was money well spent. Now, they felt a lot of people were money well spent and been wrong, but they definitely brought it.
And so immediately you felt like it was a kick to the cojones to find out that he had hurt himself and it required surgery. And you thought, all right, well, we're not going to get a straight answer. And we didn't, but there was plenty of rumor and innuendo out there that it was a torn up knee. Let's just put it that way. Just a torn up knee. And I thought, well, you're done. You know, I mean, if you're trying to play professional football, you're not going to race back if you try to get ahead of schedule. If we got a knee situation and you've got pro prospects in front of you potentially. So I just thought, well, I'm going to assume he doesn't really play for us this year based on what we were hearing. And then as the summer went along and as, you know, things kind of progressed, you'd hear from people occasionally, like, you know, he's kind of up and about and running and like starting to put some real weight on it. And okay, he's a quick healer. Maybe it was a minor procedure, not a major procedure. Again, it was all speculative. We didn't know. We couldn't get straight answers.
Maybe he's Wes Welker, you know,
people come back. It happens, Tom. Happens. By the way, if he did what Wes Welker did, which we know what that was,
allegedly,
then I say bravo. You get your ass back out there by any means necessary. We're trying to play football here. You're being paid. I lauded Wes Welker's efforts, sir. I thought that was what a man does when he's playing professional football. You got to get back out there, whatever you got to do. And I say it now. We're paying these kids. Let's go. Horse tranquilizers, whatever. Toradol times 10. Anabolic steroids. Playing football. We're out here trying to play football. Gladiatorial sport, everybody. I don't know what he did or didn't
I prefer buffalo supplements.
Whatever you got. Rooster juice. Whatever you got to do.
That sounds delicious.
Rooster juice does to you?
I don't know why.
That doesn't sound delicious to me.
Rooster juice?
Rooster juice?
I could just, maybe it's because I'm the era of crazy marketing with soft drinks.
Oh,
I just feel I could see a 12-ounce can of Rooster juice.
With a lot of caffeine?
Well, yeah, and it's got really cool colors and a nice ad campaign.
Do you know Rooster juice is a real thing? That's why I said it.
No, I have no idea. No.
Yeah, it's not what you drink. It's a okay, I'm not a doctor, so I'm going to butcher this, but they take injections into people's knee for basically arthritis.
Oh, okay.
And insurance doesn't always cover it. And so I know some people with some bad knees who knew the right people to be able to get Rooster juice.
Oh.
And
here I thought it was just an absurd thing that you were saying.
No, and
well, I'm sure it's not delicious then.
No, it's a medicine. It's a shot. It's a painful shot into your knee.
Ooh.
It basically lubricates and cushions and restores some of the properties of the natural joint fluid that are usually there in your knee.
Right.
And so that joint fluid is gone now, and it's bone.
Yeah, once it's gone, it's gone.
It's gone, and it's bone on bone, and you're in pain.
Yeah.
So they inject this into your knee, and you feel like you're 20 again, or that at least the juices are back, and you're able to go. About a month and a half later, you're like, I need another shot of the Rooster juice.
I should do that before the bowling tournament every year.
Yeah, it's a real deal. It's a thing. It's a treatment for arthritis. In short, it exists. My grandma used to have to do it. I know others that were far younger than my grandma that had to do it. And, some doctors would be like, hey, there's this stuff that I can give you. Now, you have to pay out of pocket, and but I got it, and shoobity-doo, you're on your way. And apparently it's very painful. Point is, if Jason Jenkins needed to use some Rooster juice or whatever, then I'm down with it. But the fact that he's out there, I don't think they would have him out there, especially not if he's out there today in full pads. Now, I'm not saying he's out there hitting, but if he's out there today in full pads, Tom, you're not going to do that for a guy that's not playing till week 5 of the season. I don't think they would.
Can we speak on this now, or are we? I mean,
what the hell do we care?
Okay, yeah. I mean, they've sent guys out there in pads to go through stretching, and they did blank all after that.
Yes.
Yeah, like even on full pads days, they come out there with shoulder pads. Like, man, you ain't doing anything.
No, but a lot of times those guys would be in a green shirt, or those guys would be, you could identify them. It wasn't like they were trying to snow you over.
I feel like it was an exercise because we were always filming the stretching period that the guy would walk through stretches, and there was a rule about making sure you frame it up properly, especially if there was a lower body injury. It was all part of the gig. There's your inside baseball nugget for the day. But I mean, they'd send the guy out there, so at least he was in the line, and then from that point, they would maybe get sent over to treatment. And I'm not saying that that's not a positive step, because we all want this player, and it sounds like he's coming back earlier. So I'm not poo-pooing that notion that Jenkins is coming back much earlier than we projected in the offseason. That is wonderful news. I'm just saying, if you spot a photo of him walking into practice today and he's got pads on him, I'm still going to be hesitant because they've had past instances of such things.
We're both right on this. You're going to be hesitant to say and make the leap that kid's playing week 1 against Alabama. Sure. Agreed. That would be a leap. Probably not going to. I'm encouraged because I think it means he plays sooner rather than later. That's all I'm saying. I don't think if this is projected, if we thought he was going to play, maybe be back in time for a big game against Clemson, well, I don't think you'd have him walk out there in full pads. I just don't think that would be stupid.
If you're circling Virginia, Miami, these are all very positive
signs.
Developments.
Yeah. That's what I'm leaning towards.
Agree.
I think
totally agree.
Yeah, positive signs. Now I wish I had some Rooster juice on the side I could sell folks. Apparently a lot of people in the chat have bad knees. Wish I could help you. I've had 2 arthroscopic surgeries on my knees, but they're just arthroscopic. I never had the torn ACL or MCL or none of that. But and back when I had arthroscopic knee surgery, it was like a thing. Like you weren't like able to play 2 days later. I'm blown away. Like we have this discussion once a year about where medical science is now and the advancements in treatment of injuries. My son tears the abductor longus from his pelvic bone. Okay, that's the largest tendon in your body. He rips it from his pelvic bone. I see an x-ray of this. It's frayed. It looks like an explosion went off in there. He needs to have serious surgery. They tell me we're going to have it as soon as the swelling goes down, like in the next 2 days, you're going to have surgery.
Did you clear this with Leon's head coach before you could discuss his medical information?
No, I did not.
Okay.
So then he has the surgery. They have to put it back together, the whole damn thing, right? He's now at full speed in full pads at practice this week. I'm not going to go through the numbers, but he is as explosive as he was. It's crazy. Partly that's being 17 years old. But what they've been able to do in advance, it's unbelievable. There are guys in the NFL and in college football who have arthroscopic surgery on a Sunday after a Saturday game or early Monday morning, and they're a go by Saturday. They're good to – like, you can go play. Blows me away. That was back in the day, 1990, 1991. You out a few weeks. There's no chance. I mean, because they had to put a probe in. I mean, they're going to it's unbelievable what they're able to do now. I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Somebody noted that Hall of Fame game MVP Trey Lance.
There he is. The redemption tour. He's got the right coach, though. He's got the whisperer.
Hand the ball off.
Yeah. Well, but also, hey, man, he was the one that got a lot out of Colin Kaepernick. Nobody else did. Nobody else gave him the shot after that either. But, right. I mean, Harbaugh got so much out of Colin that nobody else did. And I'm not saying Lance is the same player. I'm just saying that Harbaugh has a track record of extracting the most out of whatever. He won a title with J.J. McCarthy.
Well, maybe J.J. McCarthy will be good. We're still waiting on him. I mean, he had the devastating injury in Minnesota, so we'll see, right?
He'll have decent numbers if he doesn't have decent numbers in that offense, then that's quite the indictment because you won't have a much better situation.
He's a rookie, though.
He is.
In theory.
That's why I said decent, not Sam Darnold level numbers from last year.
Be pretty good,
but, I mean, you're going to have singles and somewhere on the field to throw the ball to.
You know, that's an interesting storyline in the NFL. There's a bunch of them this year, but I'm not, DJU 2 of 3, was it? 25 yards. It's funny. Preseason football, it's always like you'll see some scrub go off and you're just like, oh, if he's your scrub, you're like, what didn't we do? And then you have to tell yourself, oh yeah, this doesn't matter. They run the same defense.
I'm telling you guys, Bruce Gradkowski is a freak.
He's the guy.
He's a freak. And he was in the preseason.
I watched a little last night. I didn't stick around for long. I was watching. There were so few baseball games, and I was monitoring the trade deadline. And then I was like, well, let me jump back over here and see what we got. I mean, I'll watch some plays. Just standard handoffs when you're starving, and you get a cracker. It's the best cracker you've ever had. If you're thirsty, 2 ounces of water. Oh my God, that does it. That quenches it. So
every once in a while, you're right. The saltine hits, and it's just a saltine.
This is really good.
I know now. I know why they call it premium cracker.
But it's true. It's like you do that. And okay. Now from here, what is it? 6 days from now, we get that preseason week 1, which is whatever. But you got a bunch of games starting this next 6 days from right now. You got Indianapolis and Baltimore, Cincinnati and Philadelphia, the Raiders and Seattle. I still have a hard time calling them Las Vegas, but they are. And then the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday games. There's games on all the time. And we are finally in the month, August 1st, of football. Like, in the month. It is happening now. There are games to be played that count, that matter, this effing month. Man. That's got to do. I know a lot of people push back now because it's a hurry up and wait sort of thing.
Especially with the access thing for us. It's like, all right, let's hear what they had to say today.
Yeah, would we be more pumped if we were going over there? I don't know. This might spark more intrigue. You would be.
Oh, a ton.
Well,
you get up, watch, 4 or 5 periods a day of Herb Hand getting after these guys. Dude, I would love it. I
don't disagree. I wouldn't push it away. I wouldn't be, miserable going over and seeing certain guys because we have so many new faces. But I can live with not. It's 100 degrees outside, Tom. It's 100 degrees outside, and we would be standing up there, burning, watching some nonsense special teams.
Towards the end,
it'd just be ridiculous
of the day, because they're flipping to morning practice, as is their fall custom this weekend. So today is their final afternoon practice. They have tomorrow off, and then Sunday they start the morning practices. And so it goes, because Mike Norvell is an afternoon in the spring guy, and then he'll hit you in the mouth with some 110 heat index heat for the first couple of days of acclimation, and then they flip to the morning practices in a couple of days.
Man, if I know you got to get kids used to it, and you got to ease into these things, and also you want to down the line. There's this whole idea that you practice around the time that you would be playing, certain games and all that. Man, if I had my druthers, I'd be practicing at 6 a.m. Get out there, get after it, 2.5, 3 hours, be up, be done by 9.
Jeremiah Wilson would be right there with you.
Yes, he would.
5:15 every morning.
Loving that kid already. God, I hope he's good. He's one of my favorites already. God, I hope he's good. Says all the right things, exuberant, good player, had a good year last year. He's
like an 80s wrestler with the promos he can cut too, and he's not intentionally doing it. Says, I wake up at 5:15, I say my prayers, and then I head off to the facility.
He's
like, that's awesome.
Let's go.
And then he films himself to sleep. What a great phrase. He's in bed asleep by 9:30 every night, and he films himself to sleep. So he watches all 22 until he can't do it anymore. 9:30, got to be in bed so you can wake up at 5:15 to get to the facility by 5:45.
So, you used to ask me about this. The fellas on staff ask me about this all the time. They all know that I'm up. Like, if they can't sleep and they open their eyes and it's 4:50 or 5 a.m., they're like, Cameron's up. And I am. And I'm kind of proud of that. It's nothing that I've earned. That's just called having kids. Once I had kids, I had to get up, and then I just got used to it. Now I can't undo it. Now I'm up. And I've grown to like it. So now I just prefer it. But the number one question you get from people who don't get up at 5, like me and Jerry, is, what time do you go to bed? How do you get up at 5? I'm like, well, you go to bed on time. Like, if you need to get a good 8 hours of sleep, back it up from there. I get 8 hours of sleep. I'm in my bed for the most part, never later. If it's a football game, now this is where it changes. We get into the season. If it's a game, it changes.
That is the low-key grind of this part of the year. It's not the heavy season, which obviously that's part of it, and that's fun and all that stuff. But truthfully, it's the changing of the body clock, because you have to get used to staying up till 1 a.m. a lot more often, or 2 a.m.
On Saturdays, but Monday Night Football, you're done by, midnight-ish. You're pretty much 12:30-ish.
It's also postseason baseball too, and sometimes those games go super, super late.
They can go late. Then you're just tired. That's the way it is. Then you're just tired. But I still get up. But yeah, if I don't have any of that stuff, I'm in bed. Christy gets mad at me. Like, where are you going? Like, we're out watching a show or something. She's like, where are you going? I'm going to bed. She's like, it's 9:10. I'm like, yeah, I'll be asleep by 9:30. We're good. I'm an old man. You stay asleep.
Yeah.
And I'm up walking the dog at 5.
One of my friends from college said, it was a great line. Who am I trying to impress? I'm going to bed.
I'm going to bed.
What a great thought. Who am I trying to impress?
I was a night owl forever. My mother still is. I was a night owl forever. I used to stay up till 3 a.m. for no reason, not even partying, just 3 a.m. I'm up watching movies, doing no effing reason. And seriously, both having the kids and then one day coming, I was like, what is the point? What am I doing? T-Spark Enterprises, my friends there, leveling up, right? They prevent leaks before they start. Many large roof issues, as you well know, could have been prevented by fixing the small leaks, the small things that if they inspect, they get it early, and then it doesn't worsen, and you don't have to spend the big bucks. Fix the minor issues to prevent the most significant problems that occur later on. By the way, commercial tenant build-outs, they do that as well. T-Spark Enterprises, license number CGC 1525336, CCC 1331204.
Wooden Glass has been taking care of business since 1945. When you call Wooden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best. Like Wooden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Wooden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. Wooden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
Water is your home's worst enemy. It finds cracks, soft spots, and weaknesses. But not on our watch. At Gutter Solutions and Waterproofing, we're veteran-owned and built different, driven by detail and the pursuit of excellence. We install seamless gutters, underground drainage, and waterproofing systems that don't fail. Because when you live with discipline, water doesn't stand a chance. Gutter Solutions and Waterproofing. Visit guttersolutions.net. With us, it's personal. A roof isn't decoration. It's your home's first line of defense. At GSWP Roofing, we treat every build like it's mission critical. We're GAF Master Elite certified, led by a former Marine, and we don't cut corners. We execute with discipline, precision, and materials that hold the line. Storm after storm, year after year. Repairs, replacements, full installs. This is roofing done by the book. No excuses, no shortcuts. GSWP Roofing. Online at gswproofing.com. With us, you're covered.
License number CCC 1335048.
Florida man, why are you hobbling around like you got body slammed by a palm tree?
Well, I was boarding the house up for the hurricane, and Hank, my alligator, thought he would help.
Your alligator was helping?
Well, he was holding the ladder with his tail, but a gust of wind hit me like a jet ski at full throttle. Next thing you know, I'm airborne, plywood in hand, landing in the palmettos.
Florida man, have you been keeping up with your chiropractic adjustments?
I fell off track just like I fell off the ladder. Now my spine's more crooked than a pirate's treasure map.
Look, just like you prep your house for a hurricane, you gotta prep your body for the health storms life throws at you. Don't wait till your spine's blowing in the wind. Take action now.
You're right. I'm headed to Finn Chiropractic faster than Hank goes after a marshmallow.
Go to finnchiro.com, FENNCHIRO.com. That's finnchiro.com. Book your appointment now and take advantage of that online special.
I'm headed to Finn Chiropractic Boogity Boogity. Hank, get out of the cooler. That's for the hurricane party.
Cannonball!
Now I'm soaking up the fun when I want to.
Make this summer a Swain summer. Choose Swain Pools and Spas for all your regular monthly or weekly scheduled pool maintenance, repairs, restoration, and renovation. Swain Pools and Spas is Tallahassee's pool everything store. Whether it's a deep clean, a resurfacing, or a full refresh, Swain's team will have you swimming, not skimming, in no time. Make a splash this summer and have a Swain summer. Find out all the ways Swain Pools and Spas can upgrade and maintain your backyard. Online at swainpools.com. That's swainpools.com.
Swain Pools and Spas. Do something up the fun when you want to. Swain Pools and Spas.
And right next to Swain Pools and Spas is Tallahassee Car Care, the only repair shop where you can take a dip while we repair your whip. Tallahassee Car Care, right next to Swain Pools and Spas.
Cannonball!
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
You know how one time I told you, Tom, and I'd never come through for you on this front. I've got to go back to it someday and make it right. And he'll do it. And I don't know why I haven't yet. But a long time ago, I told you that I thought Brad Johnson, former Seminole and Tampa Bay Buccaneer great, Super Bowl champion Brad Johnson, was probably the most competitive guy that I've ever known. Like he plays in a ping pong league that he started He built a championship belt for it.
Yeah, like what Gilbert Arenas is to high-level international
Mafioso
espionage and
poker.
mafia poker games. Brad Johnson is to table tennis in his local area.
But other things, too. Like, he's really competitive. You know, he's the kind of guy that would challenge you to 100 free throws or whatever it might be, right? This is how he is. Did you see this story? The Democrat had this. This is funny. But as soon as I saw it, I went, "My man, Brad Johnson. He can't live if he's not competing, seriously competing." He'll probably text me because it's going to get back to him that I'm talking about him. Former NFL quarterback and Super Bowl champion Brad Johnson is competing in the 2025 Pop-A-Shot National Championships. Because of course he is. The Pop-A-Shot National Championships will be airing on ESPN2 as part of ESPN The Ocho. The championship takes place today and features an 8-person field of qualifiers from around the country. So he's already qualified, Tom. Out of the entire country, he's made it to the final 8. Brad Johnson, an avid Pop-A-Shot player,
Yep. Okay.
qualified for the tournament at an event in St. Louis. He practices every day, sometimes attempting up to 1,600 shots in the afternoon, according to the Charlotte Observer and other newspaper outlets.
I'm glad the Observer ran that down. That's good. That's good to know.
I just think it's incredible, and I love it. So very quietly, Brad Johnson, in addition to going to war with ping pong, his afternoons after playing several rounds of ping pong were spent with a little Pop-A-Shot action, to the point where he's like, "I could be the best Pop-A-Shot player you've ever seen. I might be the best Pop-A-Shot player in the world." Like, he would say it, and I would look at him as if he were crazy. He would admit it, and then before letting it die, he'd go, "No, I'm serious. I might be the best Pop-A-Shot player in the world." And he might. What if he wins it?
He'll have to find a new challenge because that will be it. What's the next challenge?
Ping pong, Pop-A-Shot.
Going for skee ball nationals.
Skee ball he's got terrible knees. He's got a bad shoulder. But you know, it's the best. It makes me laugh.
You know, it's one of the cheapest games to play in a midway, but I feel like if I had a skee ball machine, I would never tire of playing it.
Skee ball really interests you that much?
It's the corner. It's the corner. Being able to on demand hit the 100 unit, 100 ticket corner. Yeah. Every time I play skee ball, I go, I could be here for an hour. I really could.
9 o'clock tonight, if you're looking, you can watch Brad Johnson in the Pop-A-Shot.
That's why it's in. Okay, because it's timely. Tonight?
Yeah, it's tonight.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I didn't bring it up for nothing. It's tonight. Tonight's the event. He's competing for the whole kit and caboodle. It's the national championship for the Pop-A-Shot, buddy. I hope he wins it. I think it'll be hilarious. I mean, I'm sure, and we can get Brad on. If he wins it, I'm reaching out to him. Like, "Brad, why don't you come on the show on Monday and let's talk about your Pop-A-Shot prowess?"
Yes, and he should be introduced as Pop-A-Shot world champion and mention nothing about
Nothing
a Super
about the
Bowl,
Bucks,
Florida
nothing
State.
none of it. NFL Europe, Pro Bowl appearances with the Vikings and Washington, and
that's the other thing he does. Right now, he's the world, or did. Now he's the world champion Pop-A-Shot.
Current, or at least national champion. I don't know if there's a world championship for Pop-A-Shot.
I'm sure there's
They're getting
somebody
after Pop-A-Shot in Poland. I mean, I wonder, where else they get after Pop-A-Shot.
There's somebody in Lithuania who's like, "I do not recognize."
Yeah,
this champion.
No.
I am champion.
I am champion. Yeah, let those two go to war.
And this November in London.
Yeah, I think it would be great. Serious Pop-A-Shot prowess, Brad Johnson. It's so good.
No idea what a Lithuanian accent sounds like, so that was my best guess.
And you're good with accents, so that
I kept it vaguely
you're
Russian.
Like, you're like this sort of that region.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Pop Shot's fun though. I'm good at Pop Shot. I'm sure you are too. It's not hard to be good at Pop Shot, but
I am super streaky at Pop Shot.
Once you lock in, it's it's just.
But there's a time and place where the first game you play, you could be like a 26-point person, and you just got into it at the end. You're like, well, we got to play again, and then you'll drop 70 or 80 or whatever it is. But that first one, I could be pretty awful.
I tell people all the time, man. I think it was a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. Who was it who hit 73 threes in a row?
73 threes in a row?
73 on film. 73 threes in a row. Former Golden State. Who is it?
Klay Thompson?
Yes. He had 72 or 73 threes in a row. And what I was talking about with my son was, here's the thing. Because he goes, well, to him, that's like 15 threes for you, Dad. It's like once they get into a rhythm, they don't miss. I say, yeah, but you're not understanding. Sure, physically, he is able to repeat over and over and over again the exact same motion because they had a guy feeding him a ball. So he's baseline, boom, one hop, up, catch, go.
There's actually pressure on the distributor once you get around 30 or 40.
Yeah,
like, I cannot mess up.
It's got to be, yeah. And so he's just, and it's the same release. Like I watched it closely. It is the exact same rotation, the exact same release the whole time, which is incredible. And these guys can repeat this. The best players in the world at anything are able to repeat the thing that makes them successful over and over and over again. But what I talk about with that is not just having the physical tools. Look, I mean, he's 6'5" with the long reach, put his hands in the cookie jar over and over again. It's amazing, right? No, what I think is incredible is the mental fortitude to not get in your own way. Most everybody gets in their own way. It's the avoidance of your brain, like finding a Zen-like state to think nothing, just to do, just to repeat, I'm in rhythm. I'm never once going to think that's 46, because the second you do, you're missing the 47th. Like you can't do that, And I don't know how one gets there. I've never been able to get there. Even in things I'm good at, I can't get there. Listen, you're a much better golfer than me.
Miss Pac-Man, no?
Oh, well, yeah, Galaga.
Right.
I could go places in Galaga. But
see?
But and again, that's a video game, but I'm telling you, like I don't know how people, and again, this is a bad example because you're a much better golfer. I didn't pick up a golf club until I was 26 years old, but
it's an excuse. I'm just kidding.
But the thing I would tell you is this. If I start a round with you and I go par, first 3 holes, it's on my mind on number 4.
Yeah.
It's on my mind on number 4.
I can see that.
I don't know how it's not. Like I've had some good rounds with you. I've had some stretches where I'm playing really well. I've had rounds where I've gone par, birdie, par, and you're like, oh, okay, you're doing some things.
In my head, I don't say it out loud.
No, because you're courteous. But like if I go par, birdie, par, so now we're on number 5, and I'm like, well, I'm 1 under. My brain is going to say something to me, and I've never been able to say, shut up. But anybody that can do anything like that 73 straight times, they can do that. They can shut it off.
Well, you do it enough, eventually there's a breakthrough moment. When I was in high school, I could not break 40, and because I just played 9 when I got done after school. And on the 8th hole, I would always tank. And at my home golf club at Landsbrook, the 8th hole might be the easiest hole in Pinellas County. Like, really, it is the simplest freaking hole in the world. You can't miss the fairway. The green is tilted back to front. There's no mystery.
Yeah.
Like, you can make a 5. It's hard to make a 6, and I'd make a 7. And it's just because of the pressure of the moment. Because I'd hit a drive into the houses.
Yeah.
Like, I would get so scared. Then one day, you make a par, and you're like, oh. And then it's never a problem again, because you had your breakthrough. So the more times you're 1 under on the 5th hole at Capital, the better off you'll be.
Okay.
The thing is, don't take 3 wood on that one because you'll drive it right into the street.
Yeah, that's my thing.
Hit a 4-iron.
Just
hit a 4-iron to 160, and there you go.
That's kind of true, Brett, but it's also true that it's a Libations Friday, and we're always loosey-goosey. And it wasn't Papa Shot. It was Brad Johnson, Florida State great Papa Shot potential champion. Chef Cameron Show 93.3, Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
We're your store for service with one-on-one advice for contractors and homeowners. We're your local experts, and we're here to help with all your painting projects. Benjamin Moore, available at Epps Decorating Center with 2 locations in Tallahassee. Find a store near you and visit EppsDecorating.com. That's EppsDecorating.com.
Hey, this is for my homeowner friends out there. You know who you are. When you get your grass cut, you're going to inspect the work, make sure it's good. Get your house painted, check around every corner and edge, make sure that's done right. Get a new roof, get eyes on those shimmering new shingles. Get your septic tank cleaned. Bet you're not popping your head down in there to take a look around. You got to trust it's done right. I'll make it easy. Go see my friend Greg Miller, Miller Septic. They're my guys. I trust them, and you can too. MillerSeptic.com. That's it. That's the commercial. That's the whole thing. Check them out. It's MillerSeptic.com.
Hey, you, can't you read the sign? It says, keep off the grass. Oh, but I just wanted to feel it. Excuse me? I wanted to feel what it was like to have an amazing lawn like you do. It always looks so good, even in the summertime. How do you do it, neighbor? They're called Lawn Johns. They come once a week. Maybe you should give them a call so you can tell other people to stay off your lawn. How's that sound? Ooh, yes. I would love to tell people to stay off my lawn. For the very best in lawn care, call the Lawn Johns at 850-322-2567. Stay off my lawn.
There is no Bigfoot, Eddie. Would you stop with that nonsense?
There's a Bigfoot, Jeff.
I wish there were. By the way, I don't want you to point to me as the guy that takes all the fun out of the room. I wish there was the Loch Ness Monster. I wish there was the Bigfoot. I wish there was the Chupacabra. All the things.
They're all mythical except for the Bigfoot. The Sasquatch.
The Bigfoot?
The Bigfoot. There's big feet. There's lots of them.
So like different, breeds, like different kinds
there's
of.
There's like, families. There's different families. And,
so there's if they're in the snow, you call them a Sasquatch.
Or the Yeti. Right,
yep,
and then here in Florida, that's a skunk ape, and
never heard that one. By the way, why do you think it's real? We would have found them by now.
They're the hide and seek champions of the world. Nobody finds the Bigfoot.
I think you believe in Bigfoot.
I do believe in Bigfoot.
You don't believe.
I believe in Bigfoot.
Don't tell anybody you believe in Bigfoot.
I would go look for Bigfoot, but he scares me.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Here's something I am interested in as it relates to Florida State football, college football in general, is reading more and more reports, Tom, and I don't know how enforceable this is. I just know it exists. And in some cases, it has been openly talked about by the college athletes that have had to deal with it. And I'm fine with it. And I hope it's a thing. And I hope it's involved in every contract that is signed by players. But we talk about what you can and can't do and what will be challenged in court during the now rev share era in terms of what players can be paid, what it's capped at, all that sort of stuff. NIL, supplementing their rev share income, whatever it might be. And that is that it's my understanding that standard in a lot of these contracts now, and I hesitate to call them contracts, but that's what they are.
That's even what the university would call it.
I just don't know.
Yeah.
We just don't know how enforceable they are, but they are contracts.
Right.
And I would think, given that this is under the agreement, the House, right? I mean, like that it would be a contract. That this is what we're paying you out of the 20.5,
yes.
And this is a contract.
Well, that's what it's titled, yes. But what you're asking is a pertinent question: the binding nature of this document that is signed. What is it?
Well, and
to what extent is it binding?
And here's what I'm bringing up. I know that at a lot of schools, and my understanding, Florida State's one of them. I'm not sure about that. I haven't got anybody on the record with that. You can be fined for not doing certain things. Show up late to a meeting, miss a meeting, mistreatment, show up late for, film. Don't make a certain weight. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are provisions within these contracts now in which players can be fined for not adhering to them. I hope it's true. What we haven't liked is the willy-nilly nature of these things where I'm under a contract, I'm being paid $1 million, I get tired of you one day on a Wednesday, decide to transfer to UCLA because I feel like it. And there's no recourse for the school.
Yeah, I hesitate here. I think I'm with where your subtext was going, that you don't believe in the enforceability until you see it.
Right.
Because this is not collectively bargained.
It's not collectively bargained, and it would seemingly need to be, but
you're not wrong here, because this is a step in the right direction, because NIL era, collective era contracts, which were contracts, could not include inducements or incentives. So you couldn't get a performance bonus. Like, the number was the number, whether you caught 10 passes in a game or you never caught a pass in a game.
Right.
And that was always very difficult to stomach.
Oh, I hated it.
Because most of these deals, many of these deals are with unproven high school players.
Yeah, and if a kid comes in and he's given $100,000 and he sucks to high heaven and he doesn't give a lot of effort and you've already paid him and you have no way to extract money back from that deal, that's nonsense.
Right. And in this instance, it isn't a performance incentive, but it is a deduction, and you get your money back to some level. Yeah, so you're working it from the other end, but that's okay. That's okay, because at least it's something that helps promote and foster accountability to the letter of a deal. That would be nice to see.
It exists, and it is exacted at places like Syracuse and others. Players have talked about it openly, on the record, on video. Yeah, if we're late to a meeting, even 30 seconds late, we can be fined $1,000. I have been fined $1,000 for being late to a meeting, or it's $500 off my next check from the school because I missed class or something. I don't know what it was, but that stuff exists.
It does. I'm glad to hear that some students are openly talking about this, because the more you talk about it, put it in print, the more it legitimizes it, I would believe, in a legal setting. Printed quotes, I should say.
Yeah.
They matter in building a case for something, because it's going to get tried. It's going to get appealed. It's going to get tried in court, and we'll see if it's viable.
So the way I look at this is that if you're making a relative, paltry amount of money compared to the kid who's making $1 million from the school, if you're making $20,000, $10,000, you're not going to be late to the meeting. You're never going to miss anything, because if you're making $10,000 from the school and they take 500 of the $10,000, that's a significant portion to you. It's impactful. If you're making $1 million a year and you get fined $500, you don't care. But man, that's what's going to happen. And somebody making that small amount is going to go, no, F this. And they'll challenge it. Don't you think?
Yeah, of course. It's going to be appealed. Somebody's going to, because there'll be a dispute whether or not it's true. They'll say, I wasn't late, and here we go. Now we're getting into he said.
Yeah, but I'm sure you can document whether somebody's late to a damn meeting.
But are you going to do, time cards? You're going to punch in? You're going to
like
punch out? Well, that's what I'm saying, right? Because the judge might say, our witness testimony says I got 5 players on the team saying he wasn't late. I got 3 coaches saying he was, and now I'm stuck in the middle, and you can't prove it. So this fine will not stand. I'm sure that's probably where this is going. But that is a lot of money, even to a kid. Let's just say a kid is making $100K, and this is a bumpy year for this process, obviously. But when you're talking about how the university counts the $100K versus how maybe a collective counted the $100K, it's not all uniform across the country.
Correct.
Some are building in stipends and stuff like. So a kid might have been actually making more from a collective if they signed a deal than they would from the rev share agreement, because the university still had to pay them. Those two entities could never touch in terms of finances.
Right.
So let's just say, take it down. Let's say that you're a lower level player, you're making $50K or $60K. What does that mean in a monthly check? $1,000 off that monthly check is huge.
It's a big deal.
That's a humongous deal.
Yeah. I'm hoping these are real guideposts for how these contracts are going to work. I think that most fans can stomach all of this if there's structure. And I'm not worried about the sensibilities of other fans per se. I'm just talking about some sort of set of parameters that are agreed upon across the sport, state to state, university to university, department to department, that we can all know, okay, yeah, there are limits. There are things you can and can't do. You're under a GD contract. You ought to have to be able to live up to it. Like, you're getting paid, and I fought for you to get paid. People like us said, yes, they should get paid. But, man, it can't be all willy-nilly. You just screw around, do whatever you want.
A deal's a deal. Now, I've caught whispers from a couple of people that when it comes to recruiting, and I see the question from JDT in the chat is like, who's paying for this recruiting class? Well, most of it's the rev share, but the Battle's End is going to go big game hunting.
Yeah, for 12 to 15 guys, as I understand it.
Okay, well, that's your information.
Okay.
But yes, and that was just the College Sports Commission just changed or redefined their ruling that says that now NIL collectives like the Battle's End, no problem. They can,
yes, they can work out deals. Yes.
Which before that ruling, they were going to get taken to court over the College Sports Commission versus the collectives, and that got cut off at the pass
because they were going to lose. You can't forbid that. No.
What I've heard, a couple of whispers, is that now it comes down to coaches and players talking about the length of the rev share agreement. Much like a long-term and a short-term contract. The coaches want to lock in a long-term. The players want their options to be open because they know if they sign a multi-year deal, it's a multi-year deal. But that's good. That's the way it should be.
Yes, is how negotiations actually work between employees and employers. That is how it works. Yeah, I just thought that was a positive sign. I've now seen that in like 10 different places that players have noted being fined for being late to meetings and the like. And I think I'm like, okay, here we go. We've got some damn structure to this thing. Hour number 2, forthcoming. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV.
Feeling sluggish? Wake up your body the right way with Vigor. The all-new Vigor Cold Plunge Tub from Hot Spring Spas is now available exclusively at Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas in Tallahassee. Boost circulation, reduce inflammation, sharpen your focus, and more. Elite athletes do it daily, and now you can too. Experience the power of cold therapy in your own home. Come see the Vigor Cold Plunge, available only at Pinch a Penny on Capitol Circle Northeast and Greer Road.
Some men follow the crowd. Others take the long way, the wayward way. At thewaywardjet.com, we've curated the gear, gadgets, and grit every respectable man needs, from the fairway to the fire pit. We've identified the top-rated Amazon finds, so you don't have to. No fluff, just the good stuff. Visit thewaywardjet.com for the man who's not afraid to live a little off course. Thewaywardjet.com.
Ain't nothing but a G-pop, baby. I am 99% sure that is not how the lyrics go. Well, you like remixes, right? Of course. Well, think of this as a Grassroots Coffee remix per se, because Grassroots Coffee is now in the single-serve coffee pod game.
Dude, those single-serve coffee pods and cups are weak sauce.
Not Grassroots Coffee G-Pods. They have more coffee in them than regular single-serve pods and cups.
Seriously?
And not only do they have more coffee, they have a built-in filter for better brewing. They fit in most Keurig machines, and they are fully compostable.
It's still the small batch, slow roasted coffee you love, so go to grassrootscoffee.com and get your box of G-Pods today.
Baby!
See? Remix!
Well, actually, that's more of an homage.
Grassroots Coffee, locally owned, locally roasted, and made for everyone, loved everywhere.
Grassroots Coffee G-Pods. So very good.
Let me tell you, as a homeowner, I used to dread every rainstorm. Water would flow around the outside of my home, my yard, and the gutters would clog and overflow. I'd have to make sure I had buckets and duct tape ready every time. Then I called New Vision Gutters, and I can see the difference. Now I sleep through the storms. No puddles, no leaks, no clogs, no stress. If you've got water problems, trust me, call the pros at New Vision Gutters, where they take pride and passion in protecting your most valuable possessions. It's the MVP treatment and the best call I ever made.
Tired of watching baseball score updates on your phone? Get off the bench and head to the CP. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill is your home for all MLB games in-state or nationwide. Enjoy the coldest drinks, Tallahassee's best wings, and watch your team in crystal clear comfort. And if you'd like to compete, come by Tuesday nights for CP Trivia and Thursday nights for Beer Bingo, where you can walk home with cold, hard cash. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachian Parkway, Tallahassee.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Gretna, Tallahassee.
Your Sports Flash update on Real Talk 93.3 in Tallahassee.
The good news for the Jacksonville Jaguars, edge rusher Dennis Gardeck is set to practice. He has been activated from the PUP list. He signed with the Jaguars as a free agent this offseason. He tore his ACL while playing for the Cardinals last season, and we'll see how long it takes for him to be all the way back to 100%. Tampa Bay Rays lose to the Yankees yesterday by a 7-4 score. As that game was going on, they trade away shortstop Jose Caballero to the Yankees. Tampa Bay also acquiring starting pitcher Adrian Hauser from the White Sox, and they get reliever Griffin Jacks from the Minnesota Twins. The Rays are going to play the Dodgers coming up tonight. This Sports Flash is presented by Progressive. Bundle auto and home, renters, or condo insurance and save with Progressive. I'm Matt Pauley on Real Talk 93.3.
We're definitely going to be late to the concert. I feel like we should be there by now.
I'm just taking a little detour. I got to fill up my gas tank, and I know this place a couple towns over where the gas is cheaper.
Are you serious? We're going to be late for the concert because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas? Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is the free cashback app that gets you real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, I can get cash back just for buying the gas I need anyway?
Yes, I use it all the time, and I've made around $200. Now pull over so you can download the Upside app before we miss the concert.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LIFE to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank, PayPal, or as a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LIFE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LIFE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code LIFE.
Is your septic system talking? Well, when it hits the fan, it's no fun at all. And if it comes up from the ground just bubbling out of your land, man, you can guarantee that definitely ain't Texas tea. At a time like this, there's only one call to make. Terry West Plumbing, your trusted septic and sewer experts. From pump outs to inspections, repair, new installation, or when it's really hitting the fan. Contact Terry West Plumbing today. Get only the best with Terry West. Visit terrywestplumbing.com.
This week's Legacy Moment, brought to you by Cornerstone Memorials, honors Sarah and Henry Reed, who over 3 decades opened their home to more than 40 foster children. The Reeds weren't wealthy, but they gave every child love, safety, and a place to belong. Holidays at their house meant mismatched chairs and full hearts. When they passed, Sarah in 2017, Henry just last year, dozens of grown children came home one more time. The Reeds left behind a family they built with kindness. This has been a Legacy Moment, honoring the lives that shaped Tallahassee. Sponsored by Cornerstone Memorials, helping families honor their loved ones with dignity and care. Find out more online at cornerstonememorials.org. Do you know of a Tallahassee legacy that should be shared? Text the word legacy to 850-386-8255 to submit your story for the Cornerstone Memorials Legacy Moment.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
after it, full pads, I should say, for Florida State. Hopefully we get some information that makes the heart flutter. We feel good about a few more players, all that good stuff. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about their hitting. I'm excited that they're going to scrimmage on Tuesday. So right when we get back on the air on Monday, it'll be just the day before that first scrimmage. Maybe learn a lot about who's where and who's standing out. Man, I can see this being a good camp. They're going to get a lot of work done in a hurry. You could sense the urgency when the coaches spoke at the luncheon, and really any chance they've had a chance to talk. Tony White, big time about what he thinks that defense can be. And I think it's, you got to remind yourself that it's relative because they were so bad last year. But I don't even know what our goals are this year as far as a ranking. I think it's more about how it looks.
It's probably about what side of the ball, like what does the total offense rank or total defense rank in your preferred statistical category, because just yards per game is obviously not anymore relevant.
Yeah.
Yards per play
are how efficient,
points per possession, whatever it might be.
Well, if we're going to keep it on the defensive side of the ball, it used to be it's so funny how the game has changed and the rules have changed, because with the way the game has changed, you can no longer expect elite defenses to hold people to less than, 17 to 20 points a game. Like the best defenses of all time, you would go into games going, man, if you think about that Bucs team in 2002 and that Ravens team, and you think about the 86 Bears and all these great defenses, like they were a legitimate threat to hold somebody under 2 touchdowns, under 2 scores week to week. They were that kind of dominant. Like you could see you'd win games 21-10. You'd win if you were the Bucs that year. Your offense wasn't great. You could beat people 24-13, 24-9, stuff like that. It would be commonplace. They wouldn't score 14 points. But that's not realistic in the modern game of football, and it's not realistic in college football, because once spread and up-tempo offenses started to happen and the rules shifted, there were going to be too many possessions and too many boomer bust moments. So I don't look at points per game anymore, really, especially because it's all dictated on how many opportunities we give them based on the tempo we're running on offense.
Absolutely. Yards per game as well. Again, that's just way too oversimplified, total offense and total defense.
Yeah.
And we have to adjust our thinking this year, because Gus Malzahn will want to run that up tempo. So that affects the way that you need to look at the total statistics, the basic numbers, points per game allowed. I mean, we might not finish in the top 20 or top 30 and feel like we have a top 20 or top 30 defense with Tony White and points per game allowed, because if Gus has his way, and he's going to, it doesn't sound like from the luncheon that the coaches are thinking about managing the dynamics of a game. It is, we're going fast. We're going to move. So that impacts the defense. And so if you give up 325 yards a game, that doesn't tell the whole story, everybody. It's about, obviously, what's the race to? Are we playing 42 to 35 games? Is that what we're playing?
I don't want to play 42 to 35 games. I wouldn't prefer that, but obviously that means we're scoring 41 points a game. So all of a sudden I'm like, okay, after watching a team struggle to score 14 points a game,
And we also have to adjust it as well as college football fans still getting used to the running clock before the 2-minute timeout, which is also new. So, you're going to run, what do you think it is? 5% fewer plays, maybe 10% in some situations because of the running clock. So now maybe yesterday's 42 to 35 is today's 38 to 31, 35 to 28.
35-28. You're thinking of an average score?
I'm thinking like 2 years ago, before the clock rules changed. 42 might be 38 or 35 now.
Yeah.
Because of
it comes down.
There are fewer plays to be had.
Yeah, it's weird. Gus hasn't always played at breakneck speed. I think that's a misnomer. He's played fast, but he hasn't always played at breakneck speed. I can't get a read on when they say they want to play fast. Do they always want to play fast? Are they always going to play fast? Is he going to say to Tony White, this is the way I play? And because you'll hear coaches a lot talk about complementary football. And I don't know, if you're reeling on defense and having a hard time getting a handle on what an opposing team's doing offensively, can we not go 3 and out in 2 seconds here? Like, can we my guys need a little bit of a break here. I'm going to have to figure this out. We're having some adjustment issues here. Or is it, hey, man, that's on you. Do the best you can, but and this isn't personal, but in order for us to be efficient, I've got to run this quick because we can't physically beat these 4 teams and play at a slow pace. We're going to have to use what tempo does, which is to get people who aren't lined up or tired and on their heels.
I mean, that's what I was mining for this week off the record, just asking some people the theory about more plays favors the better team. Right. The idea being if you have better players, you want more plays. So if you are the
what
underdog,
if you don't?
right. And the answer I'm getting over there is that these coaches have seen tempo actually be an advantage for the lesser talented team because of the fatigue factor.
Yeah.
It's interesting because the data analytics person would say, no, don't do that. That's silly. Shrink the game and you give yourself a better chance to win.
Shorten the game, yeah.
But these coaches have said, I've seen it work.
Yeah.
One cited Mike's earlier tenure at Arizona State when he was an offensive coordinator. One was telling me about that, where he was the OC. They had beaten USC. That was the game that got Lane Kiffin fired on the tarmac.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona State dropped 60 on him.
Yeah, blew him out.
And what I was told was the Arizona State offense that year wasn't very NFL talented, and USC's defense was. USC's defense had multiple NFLers, and they saw the advantage that speed can have over a more talented group. It's interesting. It's a philosophical argument, but I think that gives us the indication that for Alabama, Mike Norvell's not going to step in and say, hey, Gus, slow it on down. We need to really make sure that we minimize possessions and shrink the game. I don't think they're doing that.
It is true that you can utilize tempo to offset physical disadvantages at the line of scrimmage. Getting the ball out of one's hands very quickly obviously eliminates the physical domination that can be had by a group up front that's better than your offensive line. I get that.
It also simplifies the reads because you can't be as exotic defensively in that setting.
Yes, it does. The problem is if you fail on first down and you're behind the chains, this suddenly becomes potentially disastrous. And you remember Jimbo talking about facing tempo teams and needing to win first down, changing the whole dynamic of the possession. I wonder, and again, I don't know. We don't know. We're not going to see it. We're not going to see it. I know what they did in the spring, largely install, a lot of starters out, but they throw a ton, obviously, out to the flats, get the ball out of their hands. This is how it's quick that way. Then they line up quick and try to just almost lean on you to get 3 yards.
Exactly. And I'm not saying that I believe it's going to work. I'm, especially in a setting like against Alabama, I'm just saying that that's what they're thinking. That's what they're thinking here. And it could work. And also what Jimbo said, and he was right about this too. I mean, he's right about most things when it comes to breaking down post-fact football. It's the first achieved first down, the first series of downs that's successful for an up-tempo team. So if they move the chains once, that's your ass.
You're in trouble.
Now you're in big trouble. So not only is first down getting to 2nd and 5 important, but if you can move the chains one time with tempo, that's a real problem for the defense.
The difference now, though, is that a lot of the distinct advantages that tempo teams had, especially when you go back to Gus Malzahn's innovative way of implementing, viewing, teaching, coaching offense, to the point where he was that guy. He was at the forefront of this kind of offensive revolution. Well, everybody runs some form of tempo now. Everybody's adapted to what this is now. Everybody's seen it, had to deal with it, combat it, confront it. Within games, teams who don't normally run tempo will sometimes run tempo. I mean, we see how this works all the time now. They've got a better handle on it. So I think that the advantages of yesteryear, to some extent, have been mitigated. I don't believe it's the same as it once was. You remember Nick Saban was at his wit's end trying to deal with tempo.
Yeah, he complained a couple of times to the media.
He thought it should be against the rules.
Yeah,
yes, he thought it should be against the rules.
Yes.
But but who cares? My point is this. He was that kind of flummoxed.
Yeah.
So the point was, here's this defensive mastermind who had year after year after year churned out elite defenses where they would batter and bruise opposing offenses, suddenly was on its heels, couldn't handle it, Plays were too fast, too many plays per game, guys getting worn down, and he was having to win games 40-30. It seemed abhorrent to him, but he had to adjust. So he brought in offensive coordinators who would incorporate elements of this, and then thus they practiced against it, got better at it, learned how to adjust to it, were in better shape from having seen it, and then they got better results. The whole sport has changed defensively. That's the premise of the opening to this segment. You can win a game 34-24, and you can come in on a Monday and say, we played great defense. There was a time for much of my life where if you gave up 24 points on defense, you didn't play great. You might have played okay. You didn't play great. Depends on the quality of the competition and the elite level of player they had on offense or a quarterback, but you would never label it great. There are games in which you give up 24 points. If it's an 85-play game, and you drop 50, and in finals 50-24, your defense dominated. You played great.
Yeah, both sides did the job.
You played great, right? So it's a different view. I think it's going to be interesting because as physical as Alabama's offensive line is going to be, Florida State is going to have some success to keep from this defense wearing down against a group that is going to do their own brand of leaning on you with hosses that are going to play in the NFL. You know how difficult it is if the offense has a couple of 3-and-outs, especially at tempo, and now they're running between the tackles right at you against not a deep defensive line, not a deep linebacker unit. You could see where this can get away from you solely because you're dedicated to running at warp speed.
Well, I think this is something we talked about earlier this week. It's going to come down to, and look at us, we're breaking down the first game of the season and the chess match. He's bringing more than 4 guys on most plays. He's going to challenge Ty Simpson to win as a quarterback. I mean, look, Williams is an unbelievable player. Yes, I understand that. He's an unbelievable player, but the guy's got to get the ball to him. And that's going to be the thing that I would imagine he'd want the quarterback to prove. Because how is it that you've been in college this long and you have never been the guy? He had a chance when Jalen Milroe was failing that USF game a couple of years ago, right? Simpson comes in that situation. That if he played well, there's your 4-star recruit maturing and taking the reins of an offense. But it didn't happen for him. He's been buried on the depth chart. So Tony, I imagine, is going to be bringing a lot of players, 5 and 6 at times, and daring them to beat Florida State through the air. And leaning on Jerry Wilson, for example, to be good enough to follow Williams around the field and cover him.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. When you hear Alabama people talk about Ty Simpson, they say the one thing he does really well is get the ball down the field. He's got a big arm. He's a big, strong kid. He was recruited highly because of that, and can really throw the deep ball. We better get home.
Right, exactly. Well, we know that. I mean, you're operating at a disadvantage here on defense, so you're going to have to find a way. And you're right. Like, if Florida State offensively wants to set a pace and is successful enough to get to 27, it might be enough. Maybe there's enough stops in their turnovers in there that 27 is enough or 28's enough.
You got to win the red zone. You know, you can let people go 20-20 all day long. Got to win the red zone. By the way, as of right now, Alabama's had a couple of practices. Word out of Alabama, according to AL.com and others that cover that program, Ty Simpson is still your leader in the clubhouse. It's way too early. Again, 2 practices into training camp, you're not going to know who's going to win, quote unquote, a quarterback battle. There was a thought from Alabama people that this would be a quarterback battle. Ryan Grubb, the offensive coordinator at Alabama, said this: all these guys, they're in different levels of their progressions as quarterbacks in college. I think that all of them, not just like any other position, have a lot of different strengths. I think right now Ty is showing a ton of command. He's right now the guy. So, we'll monitor that. They're having their daily practice reports right now too, start at the same time. They're going full pads, same thing. So we'll learn more.
He'll have to handle the noise. It'll be lesser than it used to be, but it'll still be loud as hell for that game. Everybody will be where they need to be to make a lot of noise.
Yeah. I'm excited now. I'm excited. It's something to kick around. I am intrigued to see how they do it. It's funny. I want to address this. I saw Ryan point this out. And I don't necessarily disagree with this unless they're efficient. He said that I got to go back to this quote, and it made me laugh. He basically said the fans are going to be sick of this offense by midseason because Gus is going to run the same 4 to 5 plays over and over and over and over again, and it's going to frustrate the fans. But
if it doesn't work,
I was going to say, I'd argue that here's the deal. Yep, most offenses would piss us off if they're not efficient, not working, not moving the football, not scoring points. Nothing could piss us off as bad as last year's offense. But it's not always aesthetically pleasing. It's not always fun to watch. I noticed that in the scrimmage as well. You're like, okay, I see what you're doing here. But if you're going to do it that way, if there are, the passing concepts are not complex. The only way that works is, again, to play really fast because you got to get people not lined up in the right position or slow-footed.
And if you're a little bit worried after watching a game of the offensive line's ability to hold up in pass pro, for example, that's your best friend. That is your best friend, getting the ball out.
Yeah. Shannon Young, loansforknowles.com. Check out the website, loansforknowles.com. Reach out if you're out hunting for a home and you need that loan for your dream to come true. He's my guy. Now with Cross Country Mortgage, Shannon is a stud at what he does. He's a Knoll, and he's a great guy, hard worker, smart, really knows this business. Now serving 7 states, Florida, Georgia, Bama, Tennessee, Texas, and the Carolinas. If you want stronger support, if you want a faster response, if you want somebody dedicated to seeing you get the best options available, relentless, goal-oriented, it's Shannon. Go to loansforknowles.com. That's loansforknowles.com. When we come back, we'll solve for the future with our friends at ISF.
Water is your home's worst enemy. It finds cracks, soft spots, and weaknesses. But not on our watch. At Gutter Solutions and Waterproofing, we're veteran-owned and built different, driven by detail and the pursuit of excellence. We install seamless gutters, underground drainage, and waterproofing systems that don't fail. Because when you live with discipline, water doesn't stand a chance. Gutter Solutions and Waterproofing. Visit guttersolutions.net. With us, it's personal. A roof isn't decoration. It's your home's first line of defense. At GSWP Roofing, we treat every build like it's mission critical. We're GAF Master Elite certified, led by a former Marine, and we don't cut corners. We execute with discipline, precision, and materials that hold the line. Storm after storm, year after year. Repairs, replacements, full installs. This is roofing done by the book. No excuses, no shortcuts. GSWP Roofing. Online at gswproofing.com. With us, you're covered.
Number CCC 1335048.
Some men follow the crowd. Others take the long way, the wayward way. At thewaywardgent.com, we've curated the gear, gadgets, and grit every respectable man needs, from the fairway to the fire pit. We've identified the top-rated Amazon finds, so you don't have to. No fluff, just the good stuff. Visit thewaywardgent.com. For the man who's not afraid to live a little off course, thewaywardgent.com.
Florida man, why are you hobbling around like you got body slammed by a palm tree?
Well, I was boarding the house up for the hurricane, and Hank, my alligator, thought he would help.
Your alligator was helping?
Well, he was holding the ladder with his tail, but a gust of wind hit me like a jet ski at full throttle. Next thing you know, I'm airborne, plywood in hand, landing in the palmettos.
Florida man, have you been keeping up with your chiropractic adjustments?
I fell off track just like I fell off the ladder. Now my spine's more crooked than a pirate's treasure map.
Look, just like you prep your house for a hurricane, you gotta prep your body for the health storms life throws at you. Don't wait till your spine's blowing in the wind. Take action now.
You're right. I'm headed to Finn Chiropractic faster than Hank goes after a marshmallow.
Go to finnchiro.com, FENNCHIRO.com. That's finnchiro.com. Book your appointment now and take advantage of that online special.
I'm headed to Finn Chiropractic boogity boogity. Hank, get out of the cooler. That's for the hurricane party.
Barry knows cool, he's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows cool, you can put him to the test. Barry knows healing and air conditioning, keeping you comfortable. He's what Barry does best.
No matter how busy life gets, your home is the place where your family and friends show you they care and celebrate with you. That's why the professionals at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning always make sure your home is comfortable. Just like those who matter to you most, Barano will always be there for you.
This is Tyler from Barano Heating and Air. Now you can schedule an appointment, purchase or renew your service agreement, or pay your bill from your mobile device. Any day, anytime, anywhere. When you turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air. Online at baranoac.com.
Florida license number CAC 1816186.
Barano Heating and Air Conditioning.
Love to compete on the dartboard? Then it's time to head to the CP. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill is Tallahassee's premier dart bar, featuring steel tip boards and soft tip internet play. The Corner Pocket hosts leagues and tournaments regularly. Just check out their social media to find a time that works for you. And in between games, grab a pint and a bite in the cool AC, or enjoy yourself outside on the deck. Whether you want to catch a game or start one of your own, the place to be is the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Good job, chat. You guys made me chuckle. We will solve for the future with our friends at ISF. I've mentioned ISF, talked a little bit about what's going on in town. This is a moment in Tallahassee where if you're a business owner and got employees and you want to invest in yourself, empower your team, lead with purpose, you got a chance to arrive at the Global Leadership Summit. It's coming up. In fact, that summit will be held August the 7th and 8th, features a lineup of dynamic speakers, insights from world-renowned voices on leadership, including Nick Saban. There you go. Amongst many others, best-selling authors, coaches, best-selling or CEOs, I should say, as well. Look, if you're a student, an executive, nonprofit leader, teacher, entrepreneur, team builder, the Global Leadership Summit will give you real tools. When you leave that conference, you'll have greater clarity and purpose, walk away with ideas you can use right now, not just inspiration, but things that you can implement. If you register, you got a chance, if you're a student or a teacher or a nurse or first responder, to get a discount. Spots are limited. I'd register right now. We're running out of time. It's less than a week away. ISF.com. Go to ISF.com, click the GLS tab, and claim your seat. It's a great moment for you. Tallahassee businesses, leadership, all that. Make it happen. ISF.com. Click the GLS tab. Tommy, let's solve for the future. You want to solve for the defensive side or the offensive side?
Well, we just talked about the defensive side. I feel like I could talk about that more than the offensive side, but do you want to pivot or you want to stick with it?
The reason why I ask is that look, we have an idea what Tony White has said. He's talked about a diverse linebacker group, and he says they feel like he feels like guys like Omar Graham and Blake and Juice and he named just about everybody.
He did.
Elijah Herring, Caleb Lavalley. I'm curious about him.
Well, what's good for him is the way the schedule lays out. You wouldn't expect to see much of him in Alabama against Alabama, but those next two games, for anybody who's coming off an injury, a freshman, whatever it is, you got a real chance to make an impression. We talked about Kevin Sperry earlier in the week, but if you're Lavalle, absolutely an opportunity for you. If you're one of the running backs who feels like you're getting squeezed, that's your chance to make some sort of impression ahead of the Virginia game.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what they're going to do. They're going to whittle it down to not quite a skeleton crew, but their trusted few for Bama. It's an inverted season. It's like its own bowl game. And so I would think they're not going to trust it. It's like a manager in a pennant race. I love my middle reliever in July, but first sign of trouble in October, he's out of here. Yeah. I'm done with this. You're not going to take any chances.
No. There's limited sample sets left here. We have to get this done.
So I would imagine the linebacker rotation ain't going to be 5 or 6 in the Alabama game. Maybe I'm wrong because they have different strengths and you can move them up to the line and become an edge rusher, something along those lines. But I would think if you're talking about traditional linebacker play, they're going to keep that down to a 3 or 4 man rotation.
Elijah Herring is going to get a ton of snaps.
That's he was the name that was listed last by Tony on Tuesday. Is he doing the reverse order thing here? What's he doing?
Elijah's going to get a lot of work. Look, he said this about elsewhere on the defense, that he thinks D-Jack should be, quote unquote, should be one of the best defensive tackles in college football. Okay. It would be a huge shot in the arm if that were to take place. And clearly he's trying to motivate him. He's talked about, look, I get it. There's some guys on this team that we're going to be relying on that have NFL potential, but haven't actually done it, haven't started a lot of games, haven't made a lot of plays. Earl Little Jr. is a good example of that. He's a guy that they're going to count on greatly. Clearly, he's emphasized his name. They sent him to Charlotte. But if you just look at his career numbers, he's done nothing. And so you're counting on Darrell Jackson. You're counting on Earl Little Jr. Those are two guys for certain they're going to count on defensively, and he's talking them up. I think he's speaking through the press to them. Like, you have to be dudes. You guys have to be my studs.
Yeah, I find it fascinating. There's quite a few players that either coaches or the roster itself are talking about. And Earl Little's one of them. That was Tony White didn't back down. And we discussed this just after the luncheon was over. I guess it must have been Wednesday's show. But, even with Jabril Rawls, who he really liked in spring, Tony he qualified what Jabril had to do in order to land the job that he thinks that Rawls is capable of landing. But there was still something to achieve. With Earl, Tony White is speaking about Earl Little as though he's arrived.
He's already won the job.
Correct. And he says, that the rover position is built for him. So, okay. And we've sent a bunch of guys to the NFL from that position, and it's built for Earl. Okay. So in my mind, that is an issue that we'll revisit. If Earl is bad, now I don't trust you, Tony White. But if I'm going to trust you right now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to move that to the side as I'm not concerned about Earl. If Tony's telling me not to be concerned about Earl, I'm going to listen because it's a first impression. Same thing with Darrell. But he did leave open many other possibilities at different positions.
The thing about Earl was he expressed an awful lot of confidence up there in Charlotte when I talked to him, and he did it when I talked to him off the record and on the record. I mean, I think he feels like this is where he should be. This is what he should be doing, and I think he loves Tony's defense. I don't think he loved last year's defense. I think he loves Tony's defense. Now, Earl had some health issues and everything else to deal with, but I think he likes this. Because, again, he's a thumper now for his size. He's a hitter, and he's a quick trigger guy. So if you're going to put him in a position to make a lot of tackles, and, I think that feeds to what he likes to do.
It was interesting what Jeremiah Wilson said. Old Jerry Wilson last night said he was alluding to that they kind of have a positionless existence in the defensive back room. He said, we can all play corner. We can all play safety. The whole thing about the defense is run and hit. That's what we're told to do, is just run and hit. Now, I don't know if Jerry got to the podium trying to throw smoke out there, but I found that interesting that he would remark on that because he seems fairly forthright and kind of free-spirited. So I wonder if there's going to be some crossover of the expectations that we have for guys to line up at corner that you might see him at field safety or, the rover or moving around to corner in certain sets. I just thought that was a strange comment, one that was worth at least revisiting.
He's talked a lot about the concepts of this defense, though, and then building off some of those concepts within that. And the positionless part that you're talking about, and I'll read the quote, the defense allows you to learn in concepts. It's not so much memorization of individual performances and jobs. It's more, hey, I learned a concept, and from this concept, I can learn others. I can do other things. When you're learning a concept, you're learning 2 or 3 jobs at one time. Versatility allows for guys to understand concepts of what we're doing conceptually. That way, even if they don't know exactly what to do, they can understand it by pieces around them. That's, quote, that's the benefit of what we're doing. I'm reminded, because I'm old, of when either the Dutch, if you want to credit them, or the Brazilians began to play positionless soccer. And, how people would talk about that as this wild idea. And now it's fairly commonplace. And, you have a lot of freaks in football these days. We never thought we'd see 6'3" corners that would flip their hips and run with a wide receiver who's a 4'4" guy, being that long, that physical, play the run well, those kinds of things. We get that now all the time. We get guys like that in the slot. It's crazy. The game's changing, and this is maybe part of that idea that it's not positionless football per se, but it's a similar idea.
Well, certainly there are positions within the structure of the defense that are for Tony White positionless, like archetype lists.
Yeah,
because again, in the rover position, he's had linebacker types play rover, like legitimate body types that look like and you would describe as a linebacker. And then Earl Little ain't a linebacker.
No,
body type.
not at all.
Not at all. He's more Greg Reed than he is, Geno Hayes, or bad example, Brian Urlacher.
Oh,
there you go.
Certainly not Brian Urlacher.
Kuechly, whatever.
Right,
he's a little tinier, but it's the same position. And the same thing goes for the jack position, which can come up and be an edge rushing type, or that guy can lay back and be a sideline to sideline player for you too. So there are a couple of places on the defense where, I think it's going to be opponent specific who you see manning that particular helm. But yeah, Jerry Wilson also mentioned something yesterday that I found was very interesting. I know Dominic Robinson would love to hear this, given the breakdown of the BC game last year and how poor that was. Wilson says that the nonverbal communication is already down between he and everybody in the defensive backfield, which, you won't have to worry. Actually, you will have to worry about here, because when Alabama's offense is on the field, it's going to be quite loud and dope. But he said they've already got that down. Their checks, their signals, all that stuff. He says it's already day 2, and he's loving that because it reminds him of high school. Everybody's in. Everybody's along for the ride.
Let's go.
Yeah. I love to hear that.
Yeah, get you pumped.
Yeah, that is a detail of the game, because nonverbal signals also means that you have a grasp of the entirety of the defense.
Yes, that's why I got excited to hear that. ISF, a proud sponsor of the Jeff Cameron Show, is partnering with the Florida Technology Council to bring the Global Leadership Summit right here to our city, streamed from a global stage to an intimate, high-impact setting. Sign up today, right now. Global Leadership Summit. That's where you want to go. Go to isf.com to get signed up. About 6 days out, so isf.com. Click the GLS tab.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. A heat advisory begins at noon today and remains in effect until 7 p.m. tonight. Partly cloudy today with a chance of thunderstorms. High of 96. Winds out of the southwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies again tonight. Chance of thunderstorms. Lows around 77. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, it's 88 degrees.
Budget Blinds at Tallahassee is your local window covering experts. They do it all: blinds, shades, drapery, shutters, even home automation. And they'll be there with you from the design to the measuring to the installation. Budget Blinds is with you every step of the way.
Hello, I'm Gary, the local owner of Budget Blinds at Tallahassee. Let us help you with your unique window treatment needs. Call us at 668-4835 for a free in-home consultation, or find us online at budgetblinds.com/Tallahassee.
Hey everybody, this is Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage. Been in the industry now for 22 years. I just made the move over to the nation's largest retail lender, Cross Country Mortgage, here to serve you in 7 states, including Florida, Georgia, Alabama, the Carolinas, Tennessee, and the state of Texas. Here to offer better service, better rates, and if you were thinking about buying, or if you've been on the fence and been waiting to call me, now is the time. You can still find me at loansforknowles.com. That is, again, loansforknowles.com. I've helped thousands of fellow Knowles get into their dream home, and I can't wait to help you get into yours. Give me a call today. I'm at 954-369-6171, or go to loansforknowles.com. Again, that's 954-369-6171, and that's loansforknowles.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 373031.
Haven't seen this guy since, what was it? Oh, shoot. U2 at the Sphere in Las Vegas, baby.
Hey, how about that, man? Wasn't that fun?
Good show. Good show. Everything about it. Nearly perfect. Nearly perfect.
I had everything I could possibly want.
I wanted one thing, couldn't find it, and I looked everywhere. No Cubans.
What do you mean?
No Cubans.
There was Cubans.
No, I didn't see any Cubans.
Dude,
no.
I'm sure there was Cubans there. I mean,
No. I walked around. There was a moment right before the show. I thought, got to find some Cubans. Nothing.
Dude, there's Cubans. There was Cubans. I'm sure there was Cubans.
In Las Vegas?
In Las Vegas.
No Cubans in Vegas.
There's Cubans in Vegas, man.
Eddie, there were no Cubans.
Chef.
The sandwich. There were no Cuban sandwiches. You're Cuban. Of course I know there were Cubans there.
Oh, the sandwich. Yeah, no, there probably wasn't many there in Vegas.
No Cubans.
No, not yet.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
So now we get to jump right in with our friends at the Red Zone. Well, Artisan Financial Strategies in the Red Zone. That's exactly what we're going to do. I would tell you to go to NoelRetirement.com. That is NoelRetirement.com. Find out how to score in the Retirement Red Zone. You simply can join a free emailing list there where they'll assess your retirement readiness. And this is everything from financial planning, risk management, estate and legacy planning, investment management, all of the things centered around your money, making sure you have enough of it and that you're protected. Business succession, exit strategies, all of it. Artisan Financial Strategies. Adam Tolliver, my man, when it comes to this, he has done amazing work, continues to thrive in this world with his team. And, all you can ask for is hardworking, trustworthy, intelligent, dependable. He is that. They are that. Artisan Financial Strategies. Cue it up.
Welcome to the majesty.
Every freaking rep.
The elegance.
To win the game. Oh, he hits the upright. It's no good.
You have entered.
Someone burned down the funeral home. You burnt the funeral home.
Lives will be changed.
Sideline. Touchdown. Unbelievable.
Mothers will cry.
When you see your players give all that they have and you lose that way, it's tough.
Legacies are etched into eternity.
I know who I am.
North, South Dakota was his brother from West Virginia.
This is the Red Zone.
That's good to know. All right. First down, Tom. What do we got, buddy?
Okay. I want you to sniff out some things that the coaches are saying this week and tell us the truth about how you feel about them. On first down, we'll start with the positive.
Okay.
The thing that, and I'll add players in here too, the thing that a player or a coach has said that you buy the most in the last week and a half, we'll throw Charlotte in there as well. Anything that a coach or a player has said that you say, yeah, I believe that, I buy that, is what?
That the level of experience that they have at almost every position is going to shorten the amount of time it takes for them to get comfortable running their systems and advancing who the starters are, who the second string is, and, readiness, preparedness, that kind of thing. I do believe is accelerated greatly by the fact that they have a bunch of older guys that have played a lot of college football and been in multiple systems, have seen a lot of things. I think that's true. Gus has brought that up. Tony has brought that up, and I believe that's accurate.
Stock higher, second down. Stock higher in your mind right now for the offense or the defense?
Both were so exceedingly poor that I don't know how you wouldn't be buoyed by these changes and by the personnel changes equally. That's a cop-out kind of fence-sitting area. But, I mean, when you're last in some categories on both sides of the ball, there's nowhere to go but up. When you're disinterested the way this team was, and you have this level of energy, enthusiasm, and excitement on both sides of the ball to run something new with new players, I don't know how that's not, equally somewhat buoying to me. Stock is most up.
I could rephrase it if you want me to.
I'm going to say on the defense.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to say on the defense.
Third down. The thing you heard from the coaches and or players that you are the most hesitant to buy. Not that you're calling them a liar, not that you're questioning their integrity. You are the most hesitant to buy is what?
Well, I don't like the way in which they've prattled on about Javon Boggs being like the second coming of Peter Warrick. They haven't said that the name Peter Warrick, but the way they've talked about him, you'd think that he was going to be a starter.
It's another day, another comment. Yeah, Wilson was all about it last night. Said that he's an NFL body that's already, that's here on campus with this team. He looped in Deuce Robinson in that conversation.
Well, let me say this. I think I need to clarify. Am I more excited about Javon Boggs than I am Gavin Blackwell? Yes. Because I don't think Blackwell really, I don't even know why we brought him in. I didn't see the point. I didn't like the get. I don't buy it.
I thought that was an indictment on Boggs' readiness or McCoy or B.J. Gibson or Elijah Moore. I thought that was, they weren't satisfied with what they had in the room.
Maybe. I think it was an insurance plan. I don't think he's a difference maker at all. And so if you wanted to say, well, wait a minute, Jeff, you don't think Javon Boggs could play more snaps than, say, Gavin Blackwell? No, I do think he could. I think he's, yes, I would say that's true. But the way they've talked about him, it's a little bit like the climb when they were talking about Tommy. Come on, guys. Let's slow our roll here.
Is it fair to say that if that level of discourse is still here a week from now, you might start to buy it? Because pads come on today.
Yeah, pads are on today. I like the kid.
And you've got a scrimmage on Tuesday. Or maybe 2 Mondays from now, because you'll have 2 scrimmages and a week and a half's worth of pads.
Yeah, talk to me post-scrimmage. I think we'll have a much better understanding of who they're going to be relying on. Listen, they're already in pads. They are scrimmaging on Tuesday. They are getting to the getting. They're not fooling around. They are trying to figure out who's what now. They want to know who their people are, and they're going to go to war with this thing. And to me, I think you're going to know that offensive line after Tuesday, who's what. I think you already kind of do, but you're really going to know then. And you're going to know which of those receivers that they're going to depend on. And I've got to guess that it's Squirrel White, that it's Deuce Robinson, and that Javon Boggs is going to be a part of that now. I sure hope we hear some other names. I mean, I've been kind of waiting on an Elijah Moore, but okay. Yeah, I think he could be part of that. The way they talk about him is a little bit much for me.
4th down, going off the board a little bit here, still with Florida State football. Higher confidence level for a victory against either Virginia on the road, Pitt at home. And for reference, the Virginia game precedes Miami. The Pitt game is right after Miami.
Yeah, Virginia on the road.
All right.
Yeah, I think I just think one way or the other we're going to win that game on the road against Virginia. I could see where you have a Miami hangover if you don't win that game, and Pitt plays physical if you don't match it early.
Well, if you were to win that game against Virginia, regardless of the Alabama outcome, that means that Miami week here will be very busy, very energetic, and that stadium will be extremely spirited. Because if you're at 3-1 and you lost to Bama, you don't know what that loss means quite yet. You don't know what Bama is or isn't.
Yeah.
That means that Miami atmosphere will be extra. Better than it has been. It's better than it has been the last few years.
I sure hope it is, man. I think we need that kind of passion and zeal again over there. You'll know a little bit about Alabama, though, because they will have played us and Wisconsin and Georgia, I think, by that time. So we're going to – what's the date on the Florida State-Miami game?
4th? October 4th?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. The week before, the day after we play Virginia is Georgia.
Yeah,
and,
Alabama and Georgia play on September 27th. Alabama and Wisconsin play on September 13th. Alabama and Florida State play on August 30th. I think we'll know what Alabama is. If they're undefeated or 3-1 or whatever at that, we're going to be like, that's a good team.
That's the wedding day. So we'll be checking on Bama, Georgia during the reception.
Oh, yeah. Our good buddies.
A couple of times.
I'm happy for her. That'll be good.
Open bar and some streaming on the phone.
And she won't get mad. She'll know. No, She'll come over to watch some of the game with us.
No, they booked that wedding bracing themselves and hoping against hope that it wasn't a home game and it wasn't a high-profile home game. And they got lucky. Friday night before it, that's super lucky.
Yeah, I would have advised against it. but they did what they did, and it's going to work out.
Yeah, they missed it by 1 week because if it was Miami, that specific family,
if it was Miami,
Miami
there's
matchup,
zero chance. Yeah. Everybody was like, no, we're not doing it. We love you, but it's for Miami.
We'll send you a gift and a photo from the tailgate.
Yeah, there's no chance.
Happy reception.
By the way, we'll know what Alabama is, and thus we can better judge who we are, but I do like us regardless to beat Virginia, and I do think that Miami atmosphere is going to be outstanding because you'll have 2 other wins under your belt at that time. I know they're gift wins, whatever, but winning games causes a reaction, and people will get excited.
Be 3-0, 3-1, 1-0 in the ACC. With a chance to take the lead in the ACC standings with the tiebreaker over Miami.
Well, here's what I'll tell you. The Miami game feels very much like a make or break referendum on Mike Norvell and what he is to this fan base. If you're 3-1 and you've lost to Alabama at home to start the year, you got maybe one more shot at it to endear yourself and continue to have the kind of support and momentum that you're hoping for this year, and that's to win the home game against Miami. You lose that game, and your only win against a Power 4 program is the win against Virginia. Nobody's going to think much of you. Nobody's going to be excited about what we are or where we're at. You're still worse than your rival who just 2 years ago you had dead and buried, and now you've allowed them to lap you. They're out recruiting you, and they will have just come into your backyard and beat you. No, that game is massive. It's huge, absolutely huge.
That's one thing that I'm disappointed by. We'll see if they can build out that facility. This is just a 5th down rant, the football-only facility. Because I think the newspaper, the Democrat, said it was middle of October that it's going to be done now.
I thought they were ahead of schedule, Tom. What happened?
That, around that second bye week. It at least needs to be functional and open to tour with the kids on October 4th. If they can't go in that building because they're not done or they're not cleared, that is a tremendously missed opportunity because you already can't take them in there probably without a hard hat for Bama. Maybe you can do a light tour, but if according to some of the information we've got going out on Warchant right now, something I took a look at earlier today, that Miami weekend for visits, dear God.
Yeah.
In terms of 26 kids that you're trying to either flip or retain, you want to show them the goods. They got to see the football-only facility. So hopefully it's at least functionally open. But it was supposed to already be open for a month and being used for that game.
I don't like to get into this subject because that's ridiculous. What are we doing? And we were told they were ahead of schedule, which they're not, clearly. And, there are people starting to wring their hands about the Oak situation.
It's still very noisy over there. They're doing a lot of work.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not going to be ready.
Right.
I'm just saying there are plenty of people that are a little bit nervous right now that it's going to be closer than they had hoped.
As long as they're able to get a couple of soft opening events, I think that's very
big.
Yes.
You want to see how operationally things go. And
man, I ain't one of the 1% fans, but you can't piss them off. It's critical to get that right.
So much damn money, man. You've asked them to sacrifice a lot. Sydney Sweeney fan club writes, I support Eden Deckerhoff. I really hope that kid pulls through. Hard to imagine he was can you read that? Able to continue filming through the
reference to.
I don't know what this is in reference to either. Goodness gracious, something terrible must have happened. I don't know.
Hopefully that wasn't a troll.
I don't think though. So this
person, Sweeney's been on headlines a bunch. So.
Yeah, and also has contributed money. I didn't know that there was something going on there. That's terrible if there is, and I'm sorry I haven't been paying attention to that. I'll have to go back and look what that is. But by the way, webcam update. Brett says only 12 guys on camera one. James B coming with the information. James B, I hope you're feeling well, buddy. Not trying to imply anything negative or anything like that. I just know that you know what I'm talking about, James B. I hope you're all right. Everything's going well for you, my man. August 16th is a sneak peek of the stadium, Tom. So,
do you think I was getting admonished? That was the tone.
I said it like you were being admonished. James B. was not. He was just talking politely. But I was admonishing you.
Very well. Wouldn't be the first time I've been admonished in my life.
Hey, by the way, so again, the 16th. Okay, well, 15 days from right now, apparently, big wigs like my man James B are going to be in that damn stadium, doing some things. I would guess that my dad will come down for that too. I mean, he's upgraded quite a bit, spent a lot of money. Let's go. Let's find out. Can I go in on the 16th and order a drink? And then you say, sure, Jeff, I'll get that margarita on the rocks with salt for you. And then I use my card and we see how the system is. Everything good? System working? What about a Paloma, Jeff? Would you rather have a Paloma? Yes, I would.
You know, there's a media availability on the 16th that I'll be there for. That'd be a nice little post availability. You know,
a Paloma.
Punch a couple of keys.
Yeah, let's go. Swipe the card.
I'm on the tribal council enjoying a Paloma in the non-Lang Memorial Champions Club.
Tequila, grapefruit juice, and salt on the rim, baby boy.
You like the salt on the rim?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Offsetting the tart. You get the salt. You get the, oh, yeah.
I think that
Palomas are damn delicious.
You have to be careful how you say this, but like too many beverages have accoutrement on the rim.
I don't like any kind of sugar on there.
Right.
But the salt I'm down with.
I saw, because I'm an aficionado for the espresso martini. I saw one that has stuff on the rim. I said, what are you doing?
For the what?
The espresso martini.
Oh, yeah,
totally
that's your thing.
This is insane.
I can't do those. Somebody we know had one last night.
Okay. Just one? It's hard to have just one.
No, this person, or the night before, and I saw them yesterday, and they said that they had too many of your martini espresso martinis, and I said, oh, my buddy Tom loves those.
Yeah.
And they said, I know. I was like, oh, so you've heard Tom talk about those.
Oh, okay. I'll be
I'll
interested
have
to find out who that is.
It made me laugh.
Not for you people to find out.
I was laughing. They were like, oh, Tom's got to warn you, you can't have too many of those.
Yeah, for real. Yes.
Thanks to our friends at Artisan Financial Strategies. That was the Red Zone, and always fun. Hour number 3, fourth. Cubby, stay with Jeff Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.